Welcome back to Silence to Talk with Kyle and Dustin.
Yeah.
We wanted to get into a little dirt before we got into our guest today, why we are doing what we're doing with this podcast. So, Kyle, if you want to lead the way on that, man, why did this start, man?
Yeah, our big thing is we kind of based it around a 1 Peter 2:15. You know, for it is God's will that by doing good, you should silence the ignorant talk of foolish people.
Amen.
And that just the idea of like living your life should do the talking, you know, and it doesn't, you know, we're not saying don't go out and talk. Obviously, you got to go out and talk to people about Jesus.
Yeah, you got to share the word.
But the best way to do that is to set the example.
Your actions, baby.
You know, be the light on the hill, those type of things. But it first originated by you. We both shoot podcasts back and forth, and we really love it. But at the same time, we were like, man, we want like that raw conversation, testimony type podcast. We wanted to have conversations, like real conversations, so that the average person that's trying to do this, that's trying to live their life for Jesus, they don't put Christians on a pedestal.
Yeah.
They realize, hey, we're all flawed. We all have issues, and I'm not singled out here.
What's crazy about that, though, putting a Christian on a pedestal, even as a Christian, I still put Christians on pedestals, which is funny. You know what I mean? I feel like there's always some kind of pecking order sometimes where, man, how did he get there? You know, and you just got to remember it. Everybody's on a different walk. That's the big thing about what we do and why we have so many guests and share so many different kinds of testimonies, because everybody's at such different stages, different walks. And somehow we still come together, though, and we still fight the same battles, right? Yeah. So it's good to hear that from other people and know that you're not alone.
Yeah, and I think it's just human nature in us, the comparison. You know, we compare ourselves to other people. We look at someone else, and social media is not great for this because people put their best out there, and then we see that, and we're only seeing the best side of people. And so we start looking at ourselves like we're less than, or, man, we just want to be that, when really that is not the real thing. Even though it's called a reel, it ain't real, you know.
In the actual sense of what we're doing and why we're doing it is because we hope that people listening to this that have a testimony, everybody's got a testimony, and it doesn't have to be big and broad like some of these. You know, some of them are quiet, man, small little testimonies. Your testimony matters to somebody, guaranteed. They're walking that same life, they're walking that same line, and they need to hear that. And it'll push others to further the kingdom, and that's why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah, and this guest that we have today, my buddy Aaron LaLone, welcome.
Thank you.
I think it's perfect that we're talking about this and we have Aaron on, because he is living out this journey of trying to figure this out, and we're still in the thick of it, you know.
He's live streaming it right now.
And he's ready to be raw and real with you guys, because he is now learning the importance of his testimony and how God actually uses the bad for good. You know, that stuff that you think is just terrible that you're going through, God can actually use that for good. And your testimony can actually help somebody through their toughest time.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to put you in a place where you can speak to somebody in that moment that you're currently going through, you know, in the future, in that moment, to speak to somebody to help them through their, you know, problem, for them to be a testimony to somebody else. And it's just multiplication, man. And that's how we build the kingdom up right there.
Oh, yeah.
Is telling our testimonies and not being afraid to be transparent. And I want to talk about that today a little bit, because Aaron, am I saying this correctly? You were not a transparent person.
That's correct.
And you weren't modeled that. And so you learned how to keep it shut, keep it locked up. So Aaron is a good friend of mine. We went to school together. We roomed for the first 2 years in college together. Like, we were real close. And
same profession.
Yeah. We both are police officers now. It's crazy. And we've kind of, you know, life gets crazy, and we've now reconnected, and it's kind of cool how God has brought us back together. But I am learning about stuff in your life that I'm like, how did I not know any of this stuff? And I was doing life with you, man. And it's like, how did I not know? So I want to dive into some of that stuff. So, you know, in high school, you were telling me about your dad too and stuff. And I just remember I didn't know much of your dad, to the point where, like, it's one of those things where you just don't talk about it. Yeah. But, you know, I stayed at your your house one night and it was just your mom and stuff. But it's one of those things like, I don't know if I even want to ask because is this a sore subject or whatnot? Can you just tell me how you grew up and your experience with, your dad and your mom and why were you so shut in and didn't want to be transparent about that stuff?
Yeah, you talk about being raw and I'm willing and wanting to be raw. And I think the biggest thing is that I was a good liar. Mm-hmm. I didn't want people to know that I had a broken home. A lot of my other friends, they had this amazing family. They had their mom and dad together. And I just wanted to make it think that I had that same thing.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I learned a lot from my dad. I learned how to play sports from my dad. My dad was a very good dad to me. Mm-hmm. And talking about this, it gets me emotional. But he wasn't a good husband to my mom. Abusive. I didn't know it back then, but through the profession I'm doing now, that he was into drugs. He would lie to us. But I didn't want anyone else. Like I said, I didn't want anyone else to know what we were going through. My mom, my two sisters. So I just played it off like everything was fine.
Yeah, you're trying to polish it up.
I was trying to polish it up. He would come to all my sporting events, and I can still remember the last time I really even talked to him was the last football game at Caledonia, 2001. I didn't see him. I didn't see my mom after the game, and I come home and there's my driveway is full of cars. I come inside and I see mom crying, and just then I knew something happened. Mm-hmm. First thing I wanted to do is I wanted to go down to Berry County Jail because he was in jail for domestic. And that's one of the last times I got to see him. Mm. And again, I made it play out that everything was still fine, even though it wasn't. I was hurting. I was mad, still mad, of how could somebody walk out on their significant other and their children.
Yeah. Mm.
Only a few people would know how he was. And I learned a lot more and more as I grew up through people coming to me and telling me what was really going on in the background.
Do you think your mom was trying to protect you too?
My mom is I put her on that pedestal.
Yeah.
She is the most amazing person and it's sad to say, I don't know if I've ever really told her that.
Yeah.
She was protecting us 100%. Single mom. If we needed something, she would find a way to get it for us. But her also, she didn't want people to know our business. And it wasn't trying to be mean about it. She just didn't want other people to feel sorry for us.
Yeah.
She wouldn't take a hand-me-down. She wouldn't take money from people if they wanted to help.
That sounds like what you were doing, man.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So life goes on, and go to college. First person in my family to go to college. Again, roomed with Kyle for a couple years at Ferris, but I just wasn't feeling it. I wanted to go back home. I wanted to be home. But my mom would not let me stop college.
Oh, wow.
She just did not want me to. She knew I wanted to be a police officer. And my other friend said, hey, how about you come up to Lake State with me? And I'm saying that's 5 hours away.
Yeah,
I'm going to be
even farther away.
I'm going to be further away from my mom and my sister, because my youngest sister, Jill, is 10 years younger than me. And that's all she knew was me. And we were pretty close.
Yeah.
So going up to Lake State, I felt lost, but I said, I need to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make something out of it. I'm going to make my mom proud. I knew she was proud of me, but I want to be a police officer and come back home. And I'm still just angry, and I'm still living this lie of like, why, Dad? Why'd you leave? Like, what did we do?
Mm-hmm. You carried that on your own shoulders, like you were the reason?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get back, graduated, started working at the job I'm currently at. I guess we can step it back. I grew up going to Catholic church. And I just recently told my mom this probably a year ago. I said, Mom, I really didn't get much out of the Catholic Church. It was very hard for me to understand. Yeah. And she goes, I wish you would have told me that. I was like, I knew you like it. So that's more time for me I could spend with you.
Yeah.
And it was, Sundays, and then we'd go to D&W, get something to eat, and then come back home. It was just more of a thing that we did. And then going up to college, I quit going to church. Excuses.
Yeah.
College guys don't go to church, or I don't know what it was.
Did you guys, as a kid growing up, did you guys go to church at all, or have any relationship with God or any kind of religion in your family growing up?
Yes, but Dad wouldn't go.
Yeah,
it was either he wasn't around because he was gone, or Mom and Dad were fighting, and we would just go. It was almost a safe place for us just to get away from the house for a little bit, so they weren't arguing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I went through the Wednesday night catechisms and stuff like that, and going back up to college, I just didn't go. And then I come back, get into law enforcement, and then I met my ex-wife, and she went to a church, and we started going to church. But again, I just didn't feel connected, and I guess I didn't know what that meant, but I felt like your last name meant more than anything there. If you were a certain last name, then it's you're the bigger and better person. There's these cliques I felt. I tried to get involved. I did the softball. I just still didn't feel like I was getting anything out of it. I can remember times like, hey, looking at my clock, is it almost noon? Is it almost noon? Can I get home now?
Yeah.
I have two amazing kids from my ex-wife, and through my lies and my addictions, my marriage failed, and I take all responsibility for that. But I lied to everyone. I made everyone think that I was the innocent one.
Yeah,
I was the one that was doing all the good, and she was doing all the bad.
Can you speak into you might not be able to pinpoint it, but how did you get into that? That secret life that you were living, I know you dealt with anger, and now hearing your story, I can see why. But that was always the thing. If we get Aaron revved up, we'd go play basketball in college, and it's we would identify who's the jerk on the other side, right?
The hothead,
and we're like, dude, let's put Aaron on him because we knew they were gonna fight. That was just what it was, and it was just a funny thing we did. I mean, looking back now, I'm like, man, that wasn't good for you, but. So how did that come out? So you probably dealt with anger in your relationship. But how do you dip into some of that lifestyle that you were living, that you were hiding and keeping from your wife?
Yeah, I don't know if I can necessarily pinpoint it, but my addiction is or was pornography, or women in general.
Yeah.
Played sports. So look at me. I can get any woman I wanted to. I thought I could, or I'm better than that person. So, but I can't pinpoint when the first time was, but when it got a hold of me, when the pornography got a hold of me, it got a hold of me.
Yeah.
Because number one, it wasn't illegal. It's not illegal to look at it. And I believe that I wasn't doing anything wrong. I wasn't paying for anybody. I wasn't touching anybody. I was simply watching or looking at people.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because we just did Daniel Boone, and I remember my first time you asked that, and I was just sitting here thinking, and my first time was like a Playboy, you know what I mean? Getting into that. But he said, when he opened it, you knew you shouldn't, and you put it back, you were hiding it. You know what I mean? You knew you shouldn't, you know what I mean? And it's that
you almost have that inherent morality about you. So you know what's right and wrong. Yeah. And it's just, it is weird how we have that nature about it. It's that sin nature, that where 100%. We know it's wrong, but we try to justify it. And usually that's where it comes out, is the justification. So you're saying, well, it's not illegal.
Yep.
It's just I'm
not hurting anybody.
I'm not hurting anybody. It's just me, and it's out there. So why not consume it, right? And so you justify it, and we do that with everything that we do, we have justifications.
Yeah.
But then as soon as somebody else does something wrong, it's oh, I can't believe that they are doing that.
Exactly.
You know, but when
we do that constantly.
And when we look at ourselves, we're like, well, it's because of this or this or this, you know. It's just, man, it's messed up. So you get into that. Now that's what like trickles into, you know, other women and stuff, or is this a power thing? What do you think it is?
I don't want to say, I know that it's like, it's almost like a game for me. I would see a good looking woman. It's like, yes.
Yeah. I want to see if I can,
I want to see if I can get more and more and more. It starts with a high, you know, and then it starts with, hey, it's a simple conversation. Then it snowballs and it snowballs. And I was just in it. Mm-hmm. And eventually my ex-wife was like, enough's enough. I am done. Mm-hmm. And then I think, oh man, I'm going to lose something that I love. So how about now I try to change?
So did your ex know about other women, know about the porn? Did she know about any of that or think of it or find you doing that? You know what I mean?
I didn't think she knew about the porn until later on, until another ex-girlfriend asked my ex-wife if Aaron had a problem with that back when we were married.
Yeah.
But the cheating, yeah, she knew. But again, we tried to get through it, but I wasn't stopping.
Yeah.
I was in it.
Do you think it's because you continued to think that you could get away with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You were saying something like, you know, you wanted to make it right after you got caught.
Yeah, and I think that was my MO a lot. It's like, if I'm get caught, that's when I want to change.
Yeah.
But not when I'm in it, though. Like, if I'm watching pornography or with a different woman, I was like, I'm not thinking about getting caught.
Yeah.
Or the repercussions of what might happen. But when I do get confronted about it, that's when I'm like, oh, I better do something about that.
Yeah, right. now I should change.
Now I should
caught
change.
Me.
Yeah.
But it's not like a heart change. It's because, man, I look bad now.
Exactly.
And I want to make this work because of my image.
And everybody was like, Aaron LaLone, look at him. He was good at sports. He has a good job. He has 2 kids. He has a nice place to live. Everyone thought I had it going on.
Yeah. And to be honest, dude, like I heard about your, you know, problems around this time and your divorce through other, you know, friends that we're friends with. And that's how it was kind of portrayed to me, is like you were the victim in it, you know, and we do that. I do that. I mean, I think it's like another thing in our nature,
bend, dude.
Where we're like, you know, I used to gaslight Shauna. Like, I could argue with her to make something twist, to make it look like it's her fault.
Yeah.
And then I'd back off and like, man, I got it on her now.
Let it fester.
And just let it sit.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, you can paint that picture like you're the victim, or, you know, but really there was so much going on that no one knew about.
And still to this day, I bet you there's a lot of people out there thinking that I was the victim in my failed marriage.
Mm-hmm. And that's hard, man.
It's extremely hard, especially from where I'm at now. I wish I could just shout it out in a megaphone and say, hey, look at me now.
Yeah.
And which I kind of did with Pastor Jeff at church a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you go through this, and that wasn't enough to change you.
No, the divorce was not enough. I guess you could say I did not hit rock bottom yet.
Yeah.
Through my divorce, I met an amazing woman. Like I thought to myself, I am going to change, and I did. I was changed, man. I wasn't looking at pornography. I didn't care about any other women. I was so focused on her that I can still remember the first time we talked, and I was like, I told myself, she's the one. Mm-hmm. But again, the lying, the cheating, the pornography got back to me. And
did it take a while?
It did.
Yeah.
And I always try to think back, like, what happened?
Why did that?
What triggered me to go back when I had it? When I had it all, I believe I really did. Started going to church with her again. She was teaching me so much. But again, the devil got a hold of me and said, "Hey, a little bit, back off, go in a little bit, back off, go in a little bit. But at that point, there's no backing off.
Mm-hmm. See, without that heart posture change that you're talking about, that heart change, until you can change on the outside and change in your brain, like I'm going to change this, I'm going to change, until you have that internal heart change where like there's no going back. It's almost impossible to beat because, I mean, the devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy, dude. He wants to destroy your family. He wants to destroy you. He wants to, in any little cracked door, he's going to try to keep you going in there. You know what I mean? So, man, it's hard to hear that. You know what I mean?
And you wanted to change, but you were doing it for the wrong reasons.
I was, yeah. And I remember you, Kyle, and I can't pinpoint how you and I started talking again. But you invited me to your house. You and Sean invited me over, and I wasn't being honest with you there at your house. I was sitting at your kitchen table eating, and I wasn't completely honest with you.
Yeah.
And I remember then talking to you, and you're like, I'm upset. Like, I was upset. Like, you were lying to me. And I was like, yeah, I wasn't telling the full truth again. I wanted to look like that better person. I wanted to look like the victim again.
Well, you do. So, and we know this as cops. Like, criminals will do this. Like, they lie. They tell you just enough truth, and that truth might be really bad, but it's not the full truth so that you don't know the full truth. Yeah. So, like, you just say just enough to where the enough that you said makes the person go, dang, that's bad. Yeah. He must be telling the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a psychological thing, but you hold on to the last 10%.
Yep.
And so that's what you're doing. Because I remember after that, and we had a great conversation. You were emotional. Like, I felt like it was real. You're my buddy. And then, she reaches out to Shauna, and next thing you know, she's at our house, and we're kind of getting that side of it too. And I'm starting to realize, I don't think I got the full truth here, Yeah. And so I had this like, okay, I love Aaron, and I know you're on the right path, but like, how do I get through to you that you can never have freedom if you don't start with a foundation of complete truth, honesty, transparency with someone, dude.
Yeah.
And it should be God, but like, there's something special about having a person, that you can look in the eyes and confess everything to.
Yeah. And I remember you telling me there too, is like, Aaron, you got to get right with God before you get right with anyone else. Amen. And I tell people that, everybody I talk to about my journey, is I say that same thing, is because I know it's 100%. It might be hard, or it is hard.
It's very hard.
It's I don't want to be alone. I'm like, why me? Why do I have this anger in me? Why do I do this stuff? And I know there's a reason behind it, and I might not know it right away, but at some point I will find out, or it will just come to me as like, hey, this is why. And like, I was so deep into lying that I had to remember my lies.
Did they ever catch up to you though, where you're like, crap, I'm getting caught in this?
Absolutely.
Like, I lied about a lie, and this ain't good.
Yeah. Yeah. And
she was smart.
She was a better detective than I am.
Yes.
And then I am.
Yeah.
And I, you know what? It had to happen. 100, even though it destroyed our relationship, it had to happen.
Yeah.
And I just look back, and what hurts me the most is that I put her through this because of my own selfishness, my own pride, my own everything. I was looking after me. I didn't care about anyone else.
And now you also said now you felt like it ruins it for the next guy that she finds.
It does. 100% it does.
Because now she's always going to have that in the back of her head.
She's going to have those questions. Is this person looking at porn? Is this person telling me a lie? And that's not fair to her. It's not fair to her, the pain that I've done.
And it was tough because you were also, I think you were genuinely growing in your faith with the Lord, but also working out this stuff.
Yeah.
Still little lies here and there.
Yeah.
And so you have this girl who's like watching you grow with the Lord and hoping it's real,
Yep.
but continuing to find lies out.
Yes.
While you're walking with a dude who's your quote unquote accountability, you're trying to do all the accountability things with her so that you're completely transparent, but still you can't quite
I wasn't
be
patient.
honest.
I was not patient with her. I guess that's the biggest thing. I wasn't patient. You know, there's going to be bad days, but I got to be there for those bad days. I can't say, why bring this up again? Why are you saying this again? I already told you that. I already told you the truth, but it's not on my time. It's not on it wasn't going to be on my time. It's on her time. It's on God's time.
And Daniel Boone said this. He's like, it took him 18 years to get to that point where he was completely honest with her.
Yeah.
And then found out she was doing all this stuff. And he was getting mad about that. And God was like,
He was getting mad because he thought it should be sooner.
yeah. And it's like, well, it took 18 years for you.
Yeah.
What if it takes 18 years for her? And then he goes a step further and he's like, what if it takes her whole lifetime?
Yeah.
And you have to be good with that.
Yeah.
And so the other side of this, and I knew exactly what you're going to, all the feelings, because when I fully surrendered everything to the Lord and he started changing my heart and helping me see Shauna. So like the things that weren't true that she believed about me, I used to I'd get mad at that thing, right?
Yes.
Because it's a lie. Well, he kind of flipped it and started showing me why she was mad at those things and the things that I was doing to make her feel that way. And it was totally different. And I saw it in a new light and I was like, oh my gosh, it's because I'm acting this way.
Hanging out with these types of people.
I'm putting myself in situations where why should she trust me type of thing. So I had to get past and you were going through this and still are probably battling this now that you're like really going after God, it's so hard when someone comes after you and accuses you of a lie again.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so your instinct is to get frustrated and angry.
Even if you haven't lied.
Yes.
You're like, wait a minute.
Yes.
I haven't lied this time.
Yeah. You have nothing to defend.
Yeah.
But like you get so frustrated because you're like, how can you not believe me? Think about that statement. There's so many reasons why she shouldn't believe you.
You're the reason why she doesn't believe you.
Yes.
What you have done.
Yes.
And yeah.
I want to go back a little bit, man, because something you did and said struck me a little bit because we have similar past. My mother walked out on me very young age, and like your emotion got me because I was there. And just seeing your emotion with that, with your dad and the why, you know what I mean? The why me, was it me, just a word of letting that go, man. Like, cause that gets deep into your life in areas you wouldn't see, you know what I mean? And, I think it's important that you obviously forgive, not necessarily forget. They say forgive and forget, right? But you're never going to forget it, obviously. So you forgive, but you're forgiving and you're letting that, you need to change your posture of your heart in that aspect of forgiving too. Not forgive and then still hold that grudge. You know what I mean? Because that's what I did for years, man. Like, oh, it's all good. You know what I mean? And I felt that anger and that trust and all that stuff, dude. But I feel like that's just it's a snowball effect, man, and just affects so many different areas of your life. But that's one thing I just seen your emotion, man, and I feel like there's more to let go there. You know what I mean? And
there is, because now my dad's passed. I think it's been 3 to 5 years. I don't even know the date he passed away. And where I'm at right now, if he was still with us, I would go on his doorstep and say, hey, why?
yeah.
I would talk to him. I really would do that. But I can't. And I had every opportunity to do it, but I didn't. And that's what really eats me up inside. And I still haven't forgiven myself for not reaching out to him. And I also haven't forgiven myself for what I have done to the people I've loved the most.
Yeah. I think Dustin can speak into that a little bit.
Yeah. So I recently, my real mother that left, she passed away. This is probably 3-4 months ago, something like that. But, man, I was fighting with that right there, dude. Like, I need to meet with her. I need to tell her, I gave the forgiveness from me. I let it off me, and it has been gone. You know what I mean? And it's been such a relief, and thank God that he had the mercy to give me to do that. But I had this feeling of just like, I need to talk to her and tell her, you know what I mean? I forgive her because maybe she's holding on to it. And I just always had that. And I've talked to Kyle over and over about it, this whole process. And she was down in Florida and ended up coming back to Battle Creek. I was trying to meet up with her, and dude, it was too late. She passed away, and I was like, another regret. And it's like, and it sucks to think that way, because like there's a lot of regrets that you've had, I've had, you've had, Kyle, like, and it sucks to have those regrets, but you can't hang on to those regrets either, too, man. You know what I mean? You can't, if you sit there and dwell on it. I mean, that's where the evil one lives. Yeah. He wants to keep you down in that regret, and wants to keep you down in that hole, man, to where you don't reach out to a partner, or you just sit at home and you said, I'm done with this, or you get back into the Facebook, or you get, you know what I mean? You start these habits up again. And it's just important, man, to remember, don't hold on to your regrets. And, when you're getting prompted, just take the freaking action and do it right away. Right. Don't wait. You know what I mean? Don't freaking wait.
Yeah. And the other thing about forgiveness that people don't even tend to think about is forgiving yourself. And so, like, you guys could hold on to that, and you might still be. You need to forgive yourself for not reaching out, for not talking.
100%.
Because you talked about it, the weight, and you're not forgiving them for them anyways.
Yeah.
It's because that's obedience. God tells us to do that.
Yes.
Because he has forgiven us. And who are we to not forgive others for the fact that he came and died for us, and every little sin that we've all committed in our lives, like there's just no excuse for it. And it's selfishness. It's all those things. And it's that tension inside of you that you're lifting off.
Oh, for sure.
And I've had to do that too. Just like it's a burden that you shouldn't carry, forgiveness of yourself.
So in Ephesians 4, I had this open, in verse 22, it says, you were taught with regard to your former way of life to put off your old self, which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires, to be made new in an attitude of your minds. So that I want to get into more. Where's Aaron at now? Where are you moving to now? What steps are you taking now?
And I want to add, how do we know it's true? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. I could say, trust me.
Yeah.
But
you've said that over and over.
Not a good track record.
Exactly. And I would say, don't trust me.
Yeah. Why is this different?
Show my steps. Kyle set me straight, and I thank him for almost every morning when we talk to each other. I truly believe I don't think I would be here talking to people or telling people my story unless it was for Kyle. I feel so much better. Like you said, the weight off my shoulders is not there. I'm struggling in other places.
Yeah.
As in, why did I do it?
Yeah.
But I don't.
And let's be real.
Yeah.
Struggle don't stop.
No, it doesn't.
Just because you change your life to Christ, you change your heart. Yeah. The struggle don't stop.
Yeah.
That's what people think, man. Like struggle, just this is gonna stop and quit. No,
and that's the one thing I like. Kind of had. I don't want to say fear, because it doesn't. I'm not fearful of it, but like, I'm so invested in you right now, and like I'm worried that because you want to, like, I'm worried that you're going to jump back into, I can't tell him, like, if I have a struggle or anything, because he's finally the one that sees me from my change point.
Yep.
And it's like, just because you're at your change point doesn't mean you're not going to continue to fall and need to be picked up. And like, that's the whole reason we have, people around us, and
to pick you up.
Yeah. God has created us to do life together. And I think you're realizing that now, but I'm like, man, I don't want you to fall back into like, man, it won't be a big deal if I just don't tell him this one little slip up, because it was like a tiny little slip up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I did have that slip up, and when I was told it's done, what was my first action? To message someone I shouldn't have and to get back on Facebook. Facebook is not good for me. Why do I go on Facebook? To look at women.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Why do I? To see somebody else's happy life.
Yeah.
So I was on it, and I did tell Kyle about this, and I got right back off it. And I just, if I do have a slip up or a relapse, as you want to say, I can truly say that I would come tell you because I do trust you, because I had a very, very hard time trusting anyone.
Yeah.
I didn't want to trust anyone.
And that's what I was worried about.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I hope you know that like you're not going to get that judgment from me.
Yeah. And I do,
Yeah. And that's why I told you that one day. I'm like, dude, I'm on your side 100%, no matter what. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter.
Explain the transparency though. Like, you guys have an app and like, for all that stuff, right? And explain that. Like,
so after that first meeting, when you weren't being completely honest.
I wasn't being honest. Yeah.
So we established some things. So we started a daily devotional together. That was one thing. But it's very easy because we can't connect physically, like we have to talk on phone and over text and stuff just because our lives don't connect. But like we established that daily connection point, but it's still, you could still live your life. I could live mine. We can talk in the morning. You can say you read it. We can talk about what we read, so that's not the thing that's going to change you, but it's that connection point that we can talk.
Yeah.
So just that thing alone, obviously, is not going to change what's going on. But there's other things, like you also had that app. So, pornography is a big thing. So you set up that app on your phone so that if anything he searches on his phone and it's
remotely,
it'll send me stuff that like I read it right away and I'm like, like this is stupid. But it'll email me. And it'll actually give me his search history, what he searched, and everything like that, so I can connect with him that way too. Even that, though, if you really wanted to, you could jump on a computer, or, you could do other things. You can get on your TV.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's why I'm like, it always has to be your connection with God. Mm-hmm. And that's why I say, if you don't make it right with the Lord, who sees you in your darkest, in your corner in your room, in the dark, where no one would ever know you're doing anything. And that's where you sin, the Lord knows. Kyle don't know.
Powerful.
And so you'll never get right with anybody if you don't get right with God, because that's where the full surrender of your heart happens. Yep. Because that's integrity, that's character, that's doing the right thing when no one else would ever know about it. And so I'm getting to this point where I'm trying to take it a step further to where I'm trying to live like sacrificial in knowing like, we do this with our wives. I shouldn't love Shauna or serve her with the expectation of getting some type of behavior back or anything like that.
That's tough.
And so I'm trying to live with a joy in the sacrifice. Like if I'm sacrificing and I'm not getting what I want,
it's okay.
It's actually, I should be happy because I'm suffering for the Lord. And so, and I'm not saying that's easy. I'm saying that's the new season I'm in right now. And so I'm trying to suffer and have joy in it because I know God sees me and God's like proud of me because he's like, I see what you're doing there. And you're getting nothing in return for it.
And we talked about this in our little meeting in your office, and I got emotional and I said, I'm not doing this for anyone else. I'm not going to classes to, hey, look at me. Look what I'm doing. Yeah. I'm not getting baptized. Hey, look at me. I'm not telling my story in front of hundreds of people I don't know because look at me. I'm doing it for me.
Yeah, that's what matters.
It does, yeah. And that was a huge hurdle that I got across because at this point I don't care what people think about me. I really don't. Not in a negative way or cocky way. Yeah. It's like I have a story. I suffered through a lot of stuff.
You're owning it.
I'm owning it.
Yeah.
The pride is gone, and I can be real and I can start fresh.
Yeah.
No lies, no hiccups. Let's go.
So that pride is gone daily, hourly.
Oh, and you have to continue to come back to it.
Oh, man. That's just a constant battle. Well,
the fresh start thing. So I got to tell my story now about, so I was I've been journaling in my prayer time. It's been really good for me because it's helping me focus. But I was journaling one day and I was praying over Aaron, and it was kind of crazy. I had like a vision that he was in a new relationship, like in the future, not with the current girl that you were trying to work it out with. And he was completely honest from the beginning. He told this girl everything. Like, I committed adultery. I was addicted to pornography, all the dirty stuff, every single thing. They start their relationship on a firm foundation. Like, it's pure and it's, complete freedom, and you have nothing to hide. And it's just this healthy, new relationship, right? And I kind of had this vision when I was praying, and I'm like, crap, because I know he's trying to work it out with this girl. I'm like, I can't say this to him. And but then I'm like, I kind of need to say, but so I kind of worded it in a way that like was hopeful, but I was like, at the same time, I was like, it doesn't mean that like,
it's not going to work.
Yeah, it's not going to work out. I just want you to know, like, there's hope.
Yeah. This is what I see.
Yeah. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, and whatever. It was like, thank you, whatever. Well, I get home, and we're talking like a couple hours later, Shauna tells me she gets a text from the girl that he was hoping to work it out with. And she's like, yeah, I completely ended it. We're done. And I'm like, when did this happen? I'm like trying to get the timing of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right away, I'm thinking he thinks I knew about it. And that's why I said something to him. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this is a complete Holy Spirit moment. Cause like, I knew nothing about it. Like now I'm confirmed, like, okay, this vision was probably correct, cause I've always thought too, I'm like, you guys will always struggle with this.
Yeah.
I feel like, God can redeem things, but like you were just you started off on bad footing, and I always knew in my head, like, man, the next girl, whatever that next looks like is going to be done right. Yeah. Not saying that you shouldn't be with her or whatever. And even now.
I totally understand, because when he sent that, he was sending messages back. I didn't mean this, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. Like, I absolutely understand. He was trying to backtrack.
I get it, bro.
Man, I get it. Yeah. But I totally believe that. And I'm in a good spot right now. I just need to continue moving forward. I'm I go to Friday's men's group. I go to a Wednesday men's group. And it's all addiction based. One is specifically for pornography. The other one is for any type of addiction. And I look forward to going to them. Yeah. I'm not doing it for look at me or attaboys or anything. I'm going there so I can be with other men that have the same struggles, or if I can just help somebody out. And that's what I want to do, is I want to help other people out. If they can come to me, open door, come talk to me.
That's good, man.
Your former way of life.
Yes.
Put off your old self, put on the new, baby.
Yeah. And the big thing that I want to get across to people who are dealing with this type of thing, whatever it is, you are not too far gone. Yeah. And there's stages to your sanctification process. Yeah. And the problem with you is you were in love with a girl while you're trying to go through it. Yeah. And that messes with your emotions, man.
Oh, for sure.
And there's all kinds of stuff that goes on in your head, brain chemistry, all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. Physicality. It just comes out of nowhere, man. Yeah. The man in us just kind of takes over, and then you don't think. And you're like, whatever. Yeah. Then you deal with it later, and then you have regrets. But, so that's another, level to this, is like, I really think that clouds our vision. We start, worshiping sex, worshiping being physical, the chase, like you said. Mm-hmm. It does something in us, and it messes with our brain chemistry, and we continue to want it. It's just like any other addiction, drugs, alcohol, all that type of stuff.
You can't fix the past, but you can forget the past, and you can let it go.
And you can use your past, for the glorification of Jesus Christ. Amen. Honor him with your story. And that's why we got to share and be transparent with people, because there's other people that need you, Aaron, now. And I think you're seeing that. Yeah. And one day you're gonna do some big things for God's kingdom. It may not feel like it right now, but you will.
Just remember to bear that fruit, man, because people are watching. Yeah. That's the big thing with me right now. Is like my kids, people around me are watching. You know what I mean? And when bad situations happen, they want to see how you're going to react. Mm-hmm. He gets Facebook in his hands. How's he going to react? You know what I mean? Like, people are watching that stuff, man. So bear that fruit and show your true colors that way. That's what it means by living it out in silence and the talk, baby.
Yeah, and surrender your life to Jesus and put some people around you who are going the same place that you want to go. Yep. Get plugged into a local church. Let's do this thing
together.
It matters.